and all that road going, and all the people dreaming in the immensity of it. In Iowa, I know by now that children must be crying in the land where they let the children cry.
I think we're going to start at the beginning here and go as far as we can go. Yeah, it's just under 120 feet. It's only been rolled out the full length twice. Once was at the University of Iowa, and then the other was in Indianapolis for the Super Bowl. He could type over 100 words a minute and didn't want to interrupt his thoughts. Treated the typewriter, I think, very much like the keys on a saxophone. It's a very physical act of typing, and he just launched into it. After, he had all of his notes assembled. He had made several attempts to begin this novel, but when he sat down for those 3 weeks, he was determined to just go through and get it all down. So I think that's just an incredible rush of creative energy, and I think people can kind of feel that sense when they see the scroll.
This is the first time that the scroll has been on display like this in London. So it's really a chance to be able to come and see it, read it, see how the scroll differs from the printed text as well. So it starts off, in fact, with a typo. It starts off, I met Neil, rather than I met Neil. It's almost like a car backfiring, some critics have said. Elsewhere, he's changed the names, he's used pseudonyms, but here are the original names: Allen Ginsberg, Bill Burroughs, and of course Neil Cassidy. And elsewhere, he's taken out places, toned down some of the sexual and homosexual references as well. The final bit of the scroll is also eaten by a dog, so that isn't here on display.
In this, he says, my aunt once said the world would never find peace until men fell at their women's feet and asked for forgiveness. So that's what's in the book. In the scroll, it goes on to say, this is true all over the world. In the jungles of Mexico, in the back streets of Shanghai, in New York cocktail bars, husbands are getting drunk while the women stay home with the babes of the ever-darkening future. If these men stopped the machine and came home and got on their knees and asked for forgiveness, and the women blessed them, peace will suddenly descend on the earth with a great silence, like the inherent silence of the apocalypse. I mean, that's kind of a big thing to not be there, isn't it?
As well as the scroll manuscript, we have a number of books and sound recordings, and also reproductions of photographs and some materials from the Kerouac archive held at the New York Public Library. And here's a map of, done by Kerouac, of one of his trips in winter 1947-48. You can see how he travels across the north of America and then back. A little aid memoir showing where he stayed. Partly it's a personal record, but shows how he relied on journals and reworked and sort of prepared for writing on the road long before and indeed after that 3-week session of typing out the manuscript here. The novel got wrapped up with the idea of the beats and the lifestyle. And I think the young generation really took that on board and became an inspiration for generations to travel and to see the world and live. But more recently, I think critics have also appreciated Kerouac's literary ambition and his talent, the real attention to detail, to structure and to language. And there's a real literary quality, and it really is a modern classic, and I think that is being rediscovered now as well.
Think of Dean Moriarty, I think of Dean Moriarty.